Hey Jonnie, hey Colin, thank you very much for taking the time to look at this short film, and thank you also for your kind offer to sit down and have a chat with me sometime soon. So I thought maybe sharing the film would help us to get to know each other in advance, and then you'd know what we're trying to achieve, and it would help you guys to know how you could maybe help us do that. We're looking for all kinds of help from you. It could be that you get personally involved in what we're doing. It could be you get us in contact with other people who are doing something similar, or it could just be you just give us some advice, but it would be great if we could have that chat sometime soon. What are we trying to do? Well, putting it simply, we're trying to improve the reputation of sustainability in society. So, cutting a long story short, I've spent about 30 years in my career working with change and transformation. If there's one thing I've learned throughout that entire journey, it's that if you do the right thing, it leads to way better results, much quicker, and for a longer period of time. So we're talking about short-term and long-term gains by doing the right thing. If there's a second thing I've learned throughout that time, it's not difficult to do what I just said, but it's incredibly difficult. The challenge is to get people to believe you. People just believe that cutting corners and maybe being nasty to the employees or whatever is a way better way to earn money. And you can earn a lot of money that way. But it's not the best way to earn money, and it doesn't lead to the best results. So since 2019, my wife, my team and we've decided to double down on helping companies to accelerate their green agenda. And to be honest, in 2019, we thought this was going to be a relatively easy thing to do. Actually, saving the planet isn't difficult. We truly believe that everything we need to save the planet has already been invented. We just need to get people to collaborate in different ways so that we actually start doing that. But we've learned a lot since 2019, and we've come up with three things that are really important to us. One is we need to build better solutions than the carbon solution. So if we talk about business, if we talk about industry, we can't offer products that are a compromise. People don't go for compromises. So it needs to be better than the carbon option, and that's possible. It also needs to be profitable, because if the CFO doesn't support it, you've got no chance. And the third thing is we need to get out there and actually prove to the world that this is the case. Because just right now, and I'm sure I'm telling you nothing new, we've seen over the last few years, and especially now, that the reputation of sustainability, the sense of urgency, the burning platform just isn't there anymore. There are other things in the media that are most important priorities to society, such as defence, for instance, which I truly believe is going to send us down the wrong avenue. Now, I'm not saying that we should cut the defence budget. That's a whole different debate. But what I am saying is we can save the planet whilst we earn money. And we can prove that to other people. So we talk about impact media, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of build up impact media. And what we mean by that is kind of a sort of combination of grand designs infotainment, so actually explaining to people what green tech is and why it's better, and at the same time combining that with a gamified sense, something similar to the Formula One engagement and excitement, where every couple of weeks there's some big competition going on that people want to tune into and watch. Now, we've been doing various different things like recording podcasts and all sorts of stuff, but one of the things we've built up is something called an ecothon. And we're passionate this year about really pushing the ecothons and turning them into something that people do all over the planet. We want to share the magic. It's not that difficult. Our secret sauce is easy. It's something that everyone can do. But we want to set up these ecothons all over the planet. And we're planning to do one in the maritime sector soon, potentially two. We've been to a few different boat shows, been to Southampton, Cannes, and in Friedrichshafen, the Interboat boat shows over the last 4 or 5 weeks, recorded loads of great material about sustainable boats, from little tiny boats with hydrogen fuel cells up to €10 million super yachts that are built out of plastic bottles and a new kind of solar panel that's integrated into the skin. There's so much great media out there that people need to know about. But we've also talked to these companies about running an ecothon, and we need somebody to set the challenge. We would love for you two to set that challenge, for you two to say, okay, we need to think about the 30-30 challenge, for instance. How can we have a positive impact on biodiversity in the oceans, for instance? How can we look at the coastal areas and make sure that they get protected? There's lots of great stories out there, which I'm sure you guys could help us to define. And there's also larger stories as well. We've started conversations with a large shipping company. And so they're very passionate about the environment and they want to decarbonize the way that freight moves on the oceans. This is potentially the same ecothon or a separate ecothon. But you can see we're involved in all different kind of parts of society, and we're trying to prove in every different part of society that yes, the green option is the better option. Who wants to sit on a stinky diesel boat that vibrates, makes a lot of noise and needs filling up for tens of thousands of euros, dollars or pounds at the end of every weekend, when you can have a solar powered electric boat which is silent, clean, doesn't smell and doesn't cost you as much to run. On the same front, we're speaking to an organisation in America who have a big impact on their part of society. I'm not allowed to tell you who they are just now because of NDAs, but that can be a big thing. We were in Switzerland a couple of weeks ago at the Swiss Sustainable Tourism Days. We were there as a network partner, and we've started conversations with even the Swiss Tourist Board about running ecothons in many different towns next year as a kind of Formula One of sustainability. We were in Bristol, met the City Council. They want to get us in contact with a couple of organisations that are doing something to make Bristol a greener place to live, which is super exciting as well. So there's all these things going on. I'm not a media guy. You guys know a lot more about media. Maybe there's some way you can help us. Maybe there's some way we can get involved with you guys. It's not about me becoming famous. It's not about me becoming super rich. It's about us having a very powerful tool which can have a very positive impact on our planet and create engaging media at the same time. It would be wonderful if you guys could support us in some way, and I do look forward to speaking to you soon. In the meantime, I'd just like to say a personal thank you for everything that you've been doing so far. Really do appreciate that.